and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. Warm, compassionate, relaxed, cynical, okay, and resistant. Okay, a few cards. I want to pick one of those. If you find a word, it's yours. Play. Okay. Our work can and should take on the quality of play, for it is play that stimulates creativity. Oh yeah, the horses. The horses are playing right there. Oh yeah, it reminds me of growing up in the countryside and being wild and in between fields, right? And there's the cozy home waiting for you. Okay. Okay. So we keep that in mind. Put it aside. And then resistant, cynical, relaxed, compassionate, and warm. I must say I feel really relaxed today with that reading here. I feel that there's a spirit that's coming through that wants to speak with you. Someone who wears a tie. Someone who wears a tie. On special occasions. Not every day, on special occasions, okay? And I kind of, I'm trying to adjust that it looks okay, but I surrender to the chaos. And I feel that maybe there's a message for you as well. You need to, because with warm, compassionate, and relaxed, I feel that you are in need of holidays that actually feel like holidays. You could actually have days off, but they might not feel like holidays. They might not have the play here, right? They might not have this energy if you are stressed about the days that you are having. And I think as cynical and resistant, there's a rebellious spirit here, a bit of a rebel, I feel, that comes through with the bridge. The bridge it bridges countries, but it also bridges dimensions, right? And I think there's something about, so this card is when you are dragged down by your day-to-day or by your words, your thoughts and everything, and you just become a blob like that. And I feel that you are craving to go closer towards, or to be closer to spirits. Maybe you also are hoping to speak with somebody who has passed. It could be that you are trying to communicate with somebody, that you would like to have some more incoming communication, or that you are communicating. And it's just saying that when you are communicating yourself, so when you phrase some words, or when you speak into the void, it is being heard. So that's the first message that comes through. But with the cynical and resistant, I feel that you think that you are not reaching you have a lot of resistance towards this. This is like hitting a wall, and it feels like you think that you are not coming through there, because you don't know, with the stars here and the path, you don't know how to reach the other side, how to connect the dots, how to go there. And this just shows that the solution is to be very relaxed and to take on a play-like state. And with warmth also leads to expansion. So I feel that you want to allow that. Oh, dark. Okay. Cynical one is very dark. Okay. So, what else do we have? So we've got those, often those messages from the other side. They are so subtle, we tend to miss it when we are too stressed, right? Because those are, if you look, they look like faces, right? And you would miss it if you were not in the right mind frame. I feel that there's something, communication, something that was already sent out that you kind of missed with the ghost, you know. I mean, that's a typical ghost, but the ghost looks a little bit like, I tried to talk to you, but you just don't listen. Oh, poor ghost. It's like and then the fire alarm goes off in your house and you're like, where does this house is not on fire, but something went off. It could be, you know, that somebody's getting a little bit impatient here. Okay, yeah, but I see also he's got a glitter bit on his face. I don't know if it's temporary or permanent. Do we wanna? Oh yeah, it wasn't permanent. Okay. But it's when I look at this reading from the colors. Okay, the cynical. It could be that with this is the line that is just feeling a little bit off, and I feel that this is, if you look at it from here and count it, that's the number 4. Which is the number 4 stability. It could be that you are seeking stability in some ways, because, this figure is certainly grounded by their own heaviness, right? And I feel that this is something that you want to overcome in some ways, the heaviness of everything. It's like you finally want to cross over a bridge, and now it gets into, it could also be a bridge of personal goals, right? Or something that you want to achieve. And you have been trying to do it with discipline, I feel, without play, without fun. And how are you supposed to reach a goal? A goal is just a small blip on a time frame, right? It's just something very small in comparison to the journey to the goal. And you want to have a nice journey because it's all about it. And I think that's the need to point it out here, that you need fun. Not too much discipline. You need more enjoyment. You know how kids, they are playing outside and they just climb trees and jump around like the horses here, and they don't think about anything outside, anything that they want to achieve, or any problems with it. They just enjoy the moment, and by doing so they naturally move a lot, and they just are very active, and they are naturally just in the zone, right? I would say. And there's the transformation butterfly, and there's another one hidden here, and I feel that there's something is here that you are heavy about, And all of a sudden, this looks like a church at the edge of town, right? And I feel that there's something that you are very heavy and sad about, and I'm now getting sad. It's as if you have lost your companion or something like that, and you don't want to play anymore because, it's just not as nice when you don't have your companion anymore, or something like that. So, but the companion is right there. That's the message here that you are maybe missing. Look at the details, look at all the details, and the small bits, and then you will see that you are not alone. It's just a bit different now. So the play wants to return. How do we do that though? This reading now got heavy. So what do we do? I'm just thinking about which card to pick. Picking them. Okay. Let's see if we find something there. There's also passion or rebel. Okay, so rebel energy. Okay, I didn't pick up on it too much, but there's rebel energy on the table. It was with the cynical and the resistance. Resistance. Isn't that also some, a movement, like a resist? But how can that, that's so also, when you have a goal to change the world and to raise awareness to something, then you also are joining a resistance, right? But that is also not really playful, and it's not a game, right? There becomes real life frustration, or it's like serious. It becomes serious, and I feel that this is something that you possibly. The roots, okay. Winter, okay. Oh, bottom of the deck is fortune. So I think that with this energy of rebelliousness, rebellion, okay, when it gets to serious, it's also, it takes away the endurance of the movement. But how can you change something that is serious into something that is playful? I think there's that this change is here, that wants to be looked at. This change wants to look at what can be done when you want to change a serious topic into a playful one and into fun. It's almost as if there is something on the table here that is so serious that you can't change it into fun. But it is required. Okay, now I'm getting... So, for example, when you have somebody that has that passed away, and you are in the middle of grief, and you just can't see your way out of there because you are so sad that they are gone, and you are only focusing on that they are gone. You are missing out on looking back at the times that were beautiful, and the times that were fun, and the times that you just enjoy, the playful times. And I think the message from the spirit on the table here is that they don't want to see you cry anymore, if that resonates. They just want you to focus on the nice things. And they will cause tears too, because it's this painful looking back at the loving times and realizing that in that moment when you had those nice times, you were actually blessed. And you might not have even realized that because you were not thinking that something would change about it, right? And that hurts. And it brings you back. It also almost scares you of the current, because you are then realizing that what you have now could be gone too, and you might not know. But this needs to change and wants to be changed into joy. Because when you realize that when somebody passes away, they just leave their vessel, their body behind, and they go through to the spirit world, and they might not, it's like with that ghost here, they have like the blanket. They don't have a blanket that would make them visible, but they are still there. So just because we are not aware of it, because we have the smaller perception, by design, I guess, it doesn't mean that they are gone. And when you realize that, it removes the pain a little bit. It's like they are now playing hide and seek a little bit. So okay, yeah. It doesn't take away the pain. The pain will always be there. It's just that you learn to live with it. That's a point. It's just that this spirit here wants you to play, because there's no use of anybody not being happy. Like, it it's it doesn't help. Yes, it helps you to release things, and it's important, and you need to go through things, but it doesn't help to stay in it for too long. It's like with winter, with the seasons. That reminds me of the seasons, right? So, there's a phase where there's winter, but winter is being followed by spring, and your spring is knocking at your door. And it's the most beautiful spring. Because you have released so much that you are becoming a bit childlike if you let it in with the roots. It's I feel that there is this the feeling of when it looks to me that like this tree has been buried by more soil than it needed to. It was hindering the tree to grow or to shine, because the tree has by nature a certain point until which is buried, and the rest of it is in the sky or surrounded by air. And this one, though, I feel that this one was almost like, it could also be snow. You can see when you have like half a meter of snow that is just surrounding the tree, and the tree appears much shorter. But there are also trees, I believe in Denmark, I've seen some, where they have been surrounded by soil because of the wind that brought the soil, and there were only the treetops sticking out. And they still were there, but it's very interesting though. But for you, I feel that there's this wind that comes along, or the change of season. It could also be change of temperature with warmth, right? Yeah, that makes the snow melt. And then what's left is spring. And then because the weight of the snow has been removed, the flowers can, the seeds in the ground and everything can blossom, because it is time for that, right? And don't try to be a rebel to sit in winter for longer than needed. And also, I think this is a bee right there, right? So, and bees are very, very multi-dimensional. But I'm also reminded of the beautiful bumblebee that has so many miracles within itself. It's a very beautiful bee. It's like the bumblebee is not supposed to be able to fly because the bumblebee is way too heavy. But because the bumblebee is so specially structured and flies by resonating with the frequency, with resonance. It flies with resonance, and therefore it is actually able to fly really specifically straight lines and things like. It's really interesting. Dig into that if you're interested in this. What has it? I think there's something within that bumblebee message here. It's like as a child you believe in otherworldly things and miracles and just magical things. Maybe somebody you played with as a child had a much more vibrant perception of everything, and now that I feel this is gone. Maybe it's the part of yourself that you're grieving. Maybe it's a part of you as well. It doesn't need to be somebody external. It could be also your own self that has lost the spark along the way, and it's returning to you. And by doing so, you might be surprised how many miracles there are coming towards you. It's this resistance this is going away. The resistance. By being relaxed, and the warmth is going to make it go away. Your expansion is removing the resistance. With a fortune, though. I love this card so much. It has, it's rainbow colors, black and white, and it's all symmetry I like too. And fortune is a nice word, isn't it? It's so fortune. I can dwell on this word, like I can immerse myself in that word. And then I think they are birds here, and they're messengers. So the wheel of fortune, yeah, this is just an indicator that something's moving and that that it's time to spin the wheel. But when the fortune's wheel is moving, it's usually also an indicator of a big, profound new phase. It's not just, a small thing. Even though you could say, well, I think it's a big thing for nature to go from winter to spring. We treat it as if it's something, normal and it's natural, right? So we get used to it, as at least in and it depends where you are on this planet. There are regions that don't have 4 seasons, right? But mostly I'm speaking of about places in the world that experience that to one extreme or the other. But even then, there are, even in other regions, there are, rainy seasons and other changes that are just always there, like clockwork. But it's a big change, and it's also showing the adaptability of nature. Just wanted to point that out, that there's this, that this is there. So I wanna pick another one, just to see what else. Okay, originality. Feel light-hearted and free while trusting that your unique way of doing things is the right way. Okay, and the nicely dressed cat. Okay, so this speaks also to it speaks about that you are possibly also struggling a little bit with confidence problems. With that, I see also often when I see this rebel card, the wish to stand out. And both of them have, clearly made known that they are different outwardly. And some people enjoy the immediate recognition about this, because it's like when you dress like this, or when you look, when you dye your hair blue, you immediately stand out. People immediately recognize you as somebody who categorizes themselves in a certain way. So I feel that you are possibly intentional with your looks more than others. Or that you are holding back to do that because you feel maybe you don't have the confidence if you are playing around with some visual changes. Because often when we've been through things that have been shaping who we are, we want to display that change outwardly too. It encourages you to go down that route, and if you enjoy that, as long as it's giving you some joy back, some fun, that's the point. That's the whole point of, dressing like that, or, dyeing your hair, or doing some changes, that you are enjoying yourself more when you get up in the morning. And you look in the mirror and you're like, hey, I've got blue hair. Yeah, that's cool. Right? So that's that. But it also could be the opposite, that you are feeling that you want to dial down a bit. It could be the case too, that you want to, go back to your natural self a bit more with those horses here. Like, because they didn't need to put on makeup or anything, or do anything they don't need to do that. They are beautiful the way they are. And that's valid too, right? If you just want to have your natural hair color and no makeup on, no chemicals on your fingernails, nothing else, just you, bare, naked, vulnerable, just the way you were born, right? With clothes on, ideally. I mean, depending where you are, I guess. I mean, winter would be pretty cold without them. So, but yeah, you know what I mean. So I feel that there's this need to change something. And whatever change you want, it's encouraged. As long as you are having fun with it, and as long as you're enjoying yourself in your own skin. So, and look at this nice person with the tie there. I'm really noticing the tie here. Is just standing behind this rebel here and wants to be noticed. Very, very silently, right? So you are surrounded. Surrounded by love. Okay, I feel love. I feel a lot of love. I felt a big blob of sadness, but the sadness is because you are love. You love. That's why. Okay, so let's pull an animal to wrap it up. The whale. Okay. And the horse. On the bottom, I had to take it. Okay, I had to take both. I'm gonna read them both too. So, well, yeah. Now I said it. Now I have to do it. Duh. Maybe that's a message for you. Maybe you said something that you would do and you didn't do it yet. Huh? Okay. So whale. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. Oh, well, that's a compliment, isn't it? And I think that's an accomplishment when you've been through things. I mean, I mentioned grief. If you've been through it, if you've lost anybody, it could be a pet, it could be another human being, it could be anything, right? Then you know that this experience has given you some profound insights, and that this experience, after all, has made you stronger. So, when in balance, calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into old story. To bring into balance, regular self-care. Well, I mentioned that here, right? With the needing to tend to your appearance. So I think it's encouraging you, okay? And then, so what else? Where's the horse? Dear, there's the horse. Oh, beautiful. And it has a moon on its third eye. Momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with momentum so reliable, so supportive that you can ride on its back toward any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. When in balance, achieves anything, never gives up. When out of balance, runs away, feels weak. To bring into balance, strength training. Okay. Strength training. I feel that, with that, I feel that this is, yes, that's the case. But as I said, this strength training needs to be playful. Like those horses. They need to have fun while doing that. Otherwise, there's no strength within too much. Discipline is honorable in itself, right? It's admirable when you look at other people, how they might be more disciplined than you are. It's just that there's no wisdom in not enjoying life, right? And when your discipline is more self-punishment than enjoyment, that's when it becomes critical. And I think this reading points out that it has become a little bit more too self-critical, maybe even a bit too much, and you need to find a way to have fun while having strength training. I often give the example of going to the gym to get fit, right? I personally don't see how a person can have joy walking or running in a hamster wheel. I might be wrong, because there are, ways to enjoy it. For example, if you listen to a great piece of music or just a great album or an audiobook or something like that, then you might be able to enjoy it. So, that might be a way to make things more nice. Or if you go at it with a friend and you have fun while working out together, for example. So there are ways to enjoy everything. But I personally would say, the best way to enjoy movement is also to go out in nature and enjoy hikes, because you then get connected with our natural spiritual side as well, the way we are. Well, because we are so distant from nature, that we crave it silently, even though we don't know it sometimes consciously. Now I'm getting with the blue hair as well. When I said that you might want to change your appearance, but maybe you want to change it back, or back towards a more natural self. It could also be that you have become a bit detached from nature. And this is healing. I'm just saying it because being surrounded by untouched land and observing nature, wild animals, beautiful landscapes, a stunning sunset or something like that is so healing. And I think that is something that wants to be looked at. So you need to have fun, okay? So I hope that's helpful. Let's see who this reading is for. see. Right, that one. Okay, Leo. Okay, there you go. Yeah, well, additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye 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 bye.